Hey, is this thing on? Lance, Nick, ready? Can you hear me? Welcome to the Live Free and Hunt podcast.
What is up, everyone? We just want to thank you for all the positive feedback we've been getting from this podcast. If you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or even Podbean and YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. That would help us out a lot. Follow us along on Instagram and Facebook, and check out what we got going on. We're going to have some good media this year, and we just appreciate all the support from you all. Thanks again, everyone.
All right, everybody. Episode 7, Live Free and Hunt podcast. Listen up. We have Evan Doyon in the house. We're going to talk some last season, what happened. We're going to talk about turkeys. We're going to talk about deers. What else are we going to talk about, Lance?
I don't know, just about a little bit of everything. Shoot the shit at how we grew up and how we got into hunting growing up. And just, I guess, stories. That's about it.
Stories. What are we going to talk about,
Story
Nick?
time. Let's go for it, bud.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Send it.
Like a bad deck of cards that loves to lose. You don't listen to me, and I don't want you to, 'cause we sure have fun throwing my money away. You bet high, I bet low. You're all in and I'm all broke. Another paycheck down the drain.
Where'd you grow up?
So, I grew up, my parents got divorced back in, I think, 2002. So I grew up in Rochester, kind of hunted, around that area, New Durham area, Farmington. And then my dad moved up that way, and then I ended up moving to Oyster River area and lived there right off the rip. And we, kind of in a neighborhood that it wasn't really
Hunter friendly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we were the kids with dirt bikes and
Making a
shooting
bunch of noise.
bows, 22s in the back, and everyone's like, "Who the hell are these guys?" But
We're just trying to hunt.
we played hockey. Me and my brother both played hockey, so we kind of fit in. But we were definitely the oddballs in that area because nobody had seen or heard of anything that, nobody hunted in that area. So
Right.
we were like, telling stories of our dad and, our uncle shooting these giant elk, and everyone's like, what's an elk? It's like, oh, God, here.
Wow. Here, where even are
Walking
we?
around in orange jumpsuits.
Yeah.
Come on.
Here we go.
But I do love it, not to, give a bad rap. So that is my OG town, but,
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely represent that area. But it definitely was an interesting upbringing, that's for
Right.
sure.
Do you do most of your hunting down there still?
I did for a while. Because we were kind of talking about that earlier. Just the amount of people now that there's just nowhere to hunt. That's the problem that we've kind of run into is, hunting, fishing, everything's kind of, got the vice grips on it right now. I think there's a lot of places that even a lot of us can sit here and say that aren't available.
Right.
That aren't available
that
now.
you know what I mean? Exactly. They've changed. There's a subdivision, this, that, the other thing. So there's a lot more people hunting down in those, those kind of urban areas, as we call it. And it just puts the pressure on those deer, and it makes it really tough to hunt and pattern. And, you put the time in, and then Joe Schmo's got a trail camera right next to your tree stand. It's like, it's tough. It is tough. I do try to venture down there because every once in a while I've got some kids that I used to take out. I think that picture that I sent you of that really big buck with that kid.
Yeah.
That was youth day.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, that kid lived the next road down from my mom when I was living down there.
Wasn't a relative or anything?
Nope, just a buddy's
someone
kid.
that wanted to hunt.
It literally,
Awesome.
honestly, to this day that we were talking about all these hunts I've done out west and all that. It's like these types of hunts are what mean more to me, and I remember the most, and have the
that's
most
awesome.
meaning.
Absolutely.
The kids.
I'm sitting there getting ready to go bow hunt. It's youth weekend. I'm like, you know what? I knew because this guy has two sons. And the deal is, you take one kid out in the morning and the next one. So this kid got the short end of the stick and wasn't going out. So he's out in the driveway playing basketball. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, you know what? Screw it. Maybe some good will come out of this. Like, you want to go? He's like, yeah. So he had his own 20 gauge. So he got that. He's got some camo on. And we sat at the base of the tree that I had a tree stand in. And I had pictures of the deer, and I kind of knew, and kind of was like, you know what?
Get a good idea what's going on with them.
We'll see something. I've got does. I've got that really nice buck. Excuse me. And we're sitting there, and we were set up. I kind of made a little blind and painted his face, and kind of we're doing you're doing the game. Like it's all part of it.
You season stuff.
You know, like it's kind of like I'm trying to show him why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's kind of more to me, it's like, you know what, if anything, this is going to be a good time in the woods for this kid because, he likes to hunt, but this is, like, huge for him, being that age, that be able to go out and do it. That I remember being that kid waiting for my dad to take me out.
So excited. So pumped for youth weekend.
I feel like you're going to throw up every morning.
I still do that.
Those are the days that I don't know, I just remember those days a little bit more vivid than the ones I do now because I feel like they meant more to me.
Right.
And we're sitting there, and I got everything set up. I got some sent out, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a grunt, and we'll do a rattle sequence. It's like an hour and a half before last light, and we're faced off in a different direction, like probably a 12 o'clock position, and the kid goes, Evan, there's a deer, and he's looking at 3, and I'm like, what? Like, what is it? Like, I look over. And I just see the rack just right away. And I'm like, all right, you got to relax. Keep it together.
You need to calm as you're like, okay.
So this kid's, I don't even know at that point if he had even shot a deer. He probably did. But, to that caliber, I'm shaking like a crack baby. This is a 140-inch class, New Hampshire deer that a grown man would absolutely do anything to have on their wall. And I'm like, all right, well, just got to keep it together. And the deer kind of started cutting across, and I told him, I'm like, all right, we're going to sit. I'm going to move you. I picked the gun up, everything, and I just situated him. And the deer's kind of going. He's kind of walking away, and it's just perfect scenario. And he just goes in this opening, and I go, are you ready? He goes, yeah. I go, you want him? He goes, yep. I go,
sure
because
do.
you're going to kill him right now. Hey! And I just yell, and the deer just looks up. Boom! The 20 gauge goes. That deer stood right up and fell right there. And that kid just, the look on his face, I don't have kids, so I don't, you know what I mean? Just to experience that. I was a little bit jealous because I'm almost, that moment was just
it was
unreal.
so perfect.
I'm not trying to get all touchy on everybody here right now, but it was just unbelievable experience. And I'm just looking, I'm like, do you realize what you just did? Like, there are grown men that have not done what you just did. You just shot a absolute giant.
Right.
Giant.
Was that his first deer?
That I'm not even sure. I think he might have shot a doe or a skipper prior to that maybe, but he was probably 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Son of
and
a
it was kind of
bitch.
funny 'cause I texted his dad because his dad had already been gone, took his other son when I went to pick him up. And he drove by where we were hunting, and he didn't see my truck there.
Yeah.
This deer's already hanging in this guy's garage. I'm already, into the millers a little bit. And so I'm like, we're going to play with him a little bit. So we shut the garage door, and I'm just sitting there in the tailgate of the truck, and he pulls in. He goes, what? You guys are out early? I'm like, yeah, And he's like, what?
It didn't work out.
I go, it wasn't good. He goes, what do you mean? I go, we got to go get the flashlights. We got to go for a walk. He goes, what happened? I go, spike horn, and I don't know. And he's like, are you serious? I'm just totally toying this guy. I'm laughing inside and trying to keep it together. And then I was like, you know what? I can't do this to this poor guy anymore. So he opened the garage, and the thing's just hanging in his garage. He grabbed his son and just grabbed a hold of him.
Yeah.
And just that moment
biggest
right there was
hug.
just unbelievable to be a part of, just so
That's
rewarding.
so awesome.
that kid got that deer mounted. It's in his room. Like,
Proud of it.
He's
Comes home
proud.
from
Like,
school every day, looks up. Dang.
I think he's 16, 17 now. He must be at least.
Yeah, he's
And,
probably
you
out.
know, that's the biggest deer he's ever shot.
Hopefully he's hooked now. I'm
Oh,
sure he's still
He'll
out in the
remember
woods.
that day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got Snapchat now, so he sends me shooting out back, you know, sending me his targets and everything. and
Awesome.
It's just cool. I take them out turkey hunting too, like youth weekend. I've done that since they were 7, 8 years old, all
Yeah.
the way through, and just a good group of kids. Just to honestly, like to see just them handle the firearms and just be a part of that and the knowledge, like the safety and everything. There's not a lot of kids that have those values anymore. I
No.
think. You
Yeah,
know, a lot
no.
of
I
parents
know.
don't try to. You know, you see some kids, but you know, they know. Like they
Right.
know. I trust these kids. Like I yes, you know, when we go over something, I unload the gun and give it to them. But for the most part, I'm not really worried about muzzle safety with him because he knows. He was brought up. His dad's a ex-Marine, so these kids were trained to operate and handle guns safely.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and those are just awesome kids to take out and do this with because it makes it so much easier for me. You know, obviously still keeping that in mind, but. You know, it puts me at ease to be able to
know.
be like, I'm comfortable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you kind of get a little
You
bit
can
nervous.
kind of
It's like-
focus
No,
on
absolutely.
what you guys are doing instead of worrying
exactly.
about something else.
You know,
yeah.
we're not trying to do like, basic fundamentals of everything all at once. You know, we focus on what we're doing. We're trying to shoot a deer, and that's what we're going to do.
Right.
So,
growing up hunting, you didn't. Did your dad take you out and stuff? Or
my dad, it was between my dad and my uncle. My dad has been my hunting partner my whole life, and he is like he's done a lot of hunts, out west, and he's him and my uncle have traveled all over the country, and like growing up, that was my hero. Like that was what I wanted to do and wanted to be when I grew up. I remember watching him shoot his bow. I was 5 years old shooting a bow and just doing everything I could to like just try to learn from him and just be a part of everything. I remember right when my parents first got divorced, he had all of his stuff still at the house, and my mom ended up calling my dad one day and saying like, "Hey, listen, I think he's got a tree stand set up." So my dad comes out and he goes, "I want to see where your tree." I took his stuff and set up a tree stand at 9 years old.
I'm going hunting now.
I'm going hunting now. And like in his stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, no, this can't happen." But like that's just what I wanted to be, and he just kind of set the bar pretty high. And for both me and my brother, we've just tried to kind of keep up with them and try to live up to what they've, done and accomplished. And just, my dad. Opening day of turkey season, that's the guy that I hunt with. Me and him we talk hunting pretty much every single night.
Yeah,
we
texting,
prep everything. He's there, trail cameras. It's just the involvement that we have and the ability to that strengthen our relationship is just unbelievable. Because I mean, when he left, it was he moved away, or not. I mean, not crazy far, but it kind of put some distance. And I think if we didn't have that relationship with hunting, I don't know if we would be as close as we are today.
Right.
I mean, I can say my dad's my best friend. He's my best hunting buddy. Like,
Right.
if there's anybody that I call that I need something, he's coming to drag deer out and do
Yeah,
anything,
that's the
you know?
best.
That's the
That's
guy
the
right
first,
there.
the first text message.
That is the
first phone call that
911
goes
call
out.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got a problem.
Yeah.
awesome.
Get your crap on. Let's go.
Yeah. We need a flashlight. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you're not. I do the same thing. I'm just like, hey, you got a pen? You got a pen? You can bring out to me in the woods, or
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
last year I want to start dragging. I text my dad. He's out in the woods too. I'm just like, hey, you got that was the deer sled or whatever the
Just
Yeah.
drop
fuck it
what
is.
he's doing. I'll be
Yeah.
over, bud.
I'll be over just like that. Boom.
And that's what it's about. I mean, I'm sure everybody sitting at this table knows and has those people that they call for that moment. And then if those people call you,
Yep.
you get out of the woods.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
those are your people. Like, you're out there till 11 o'clock dragging a deer in misery, and you look over and they're standing there smiling next to you. It's like,
Yeah.
You
Those-
We're almost
sandbag-
there.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
almost
Yeah.
there.
almost there.
Keep
you know?
teasing.
I mean, I got a lot of people like that. I'm really lucky. Like, just, my dad, my brother, I've got some really good friends, and that's just what we do. I mean, my buddy Mike, he's a great guy. Like, he anytime I call this guy, I could literally be like, listen, we got a code 7. I need your help now. He'll be out there in his boots. This year I shot my deer. It ran, I mean, ungodly distance. I mean, to the point where we're like, is this thing even going to die? Like, what is going to happen? And he's going out to New York the next day. So he's in the middle of packing to go out and deer hunt. And I call him, got it. We were out there till almost 10 o'clock at night dragging that deer back through a swamp, just nasty, miserable. And he's like, you owe me, kid. And I'm like, I definitely do. I definitely
owe you.
So hopefully I'll be able to repay the favor and get on some birds with him this year. And, you know, his girlfriend, too, she's wants to shoot a bird. So I'm hoping to help him out with that and get it done. Like, he's just a good guy, and those are the people that I hold close to me, and those are my true friends. You know, we were talking about it. I don't have a giant circle of friends, but I have a small circle, and when I call them, they're there. You know, these are good people.
Absolutely,
and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
The hunt community is huge when it comes to that. It's like...
it's like you would go see someone you parked at the same area and like at a parking lot or something. Oh, I just shot a deer. Yeah, hey, well, we'll come out and help you.
You know, and that's the cool thing about
always
it.
happen.
And that's what like everybody's got to kind of remember is we're all in this together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I think we've all had that situation where we've been in a spot and somebody, you know, we hear gunshot or whatever, and we kind of go investigate. And you know, I have no problem helping somebody drag a deer out of a piece that I've been in. You know, I think I would kind of want the same thing. You know, if I'm out there by myself and you walk up to me, hey,
nice deer,
killing
nice
yourself.
deer, have a good night. Like, okay, cool, see you later. But I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I try to live my life as, you know, you give out, you get back what you give out.
Right.
You know
We've been in scenarios like this year in particular, place we were hunting. We came out, met a couple guys, and it wasn't anything like,
hey, what are you doing here? I was here first.
It was no secretive stuff.
And
it was like, the guy was like, oh yeah, we jumped a couple does and you know.
You seen this monster over here? I'm like, what?
Ooh, where,
he goes right over here, bud.
A big
you a picture.
He was like, oh, there was a big 8-pointer out there the other day. Yeah. You know, I was like, oh, well, cool. You know, well, this is what we seen.
No
you know,
secrets, just
right. So,
and that, you know, that is the important part of it. I mean, we're all in this together. I know a lot of guys that have issues. You know, we were talking about that too earlier. It's like,
you know, across some people in tree stand,
you will have some issues, you know, don't get me wrong, but for the most part I feel like around here it's pretty decent, you know. It like we said, it's everybody's spots are dwindling down. It's just the world we live in now.
Everyone wants to build.
We're all on the same team, you know, whether we want to believe it or not, you know what I mean. We're all wearing the same jersey, so you know we got to kind of stick together because it's only going to get worse. You know, I can't imagine like, you know, what our kids are, you know, I don't have any kids, but you guys that got kids, like, what's it going to be like when they go out? You know what I mean?
That's my worst fear. It's like the public land that we have here.
Like,
if this state ever turned to like, you know, western states or pretty much any other state besides Maine, is when you have, everything gets posted, you know, and then
posted or bought up, built.
Right, yeah.
Freaking,
you know,
build another cul-de-sac.
You want to go hunting, then you can knock on someone's door, or you know them, or, you know, you can just walk in the woods, and that's, if it's not posted, then
starting to become like a very tough thing. Like, I don't know many people that have the ability just to go out back. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
because the neighbor posted their little
and then you can't get through there.
I mean, that's how we grew up hunting. Like, that's how we learned. I mean, that's how it just, we had the, and I'm very lucky and very fortunate to sit here and talk about it because we did have that. We could walk out back. There were deer out back. There were turkeys out back. You know, and that it just, we were lucky to have that. And the thing is there's not a lot of people now that have that. Those areas are dwindling down.
Right.
You know,
it seems like every summer there's another development. There's more houses
crazy.
Going in somewhere. There's
you drive by somewhere,
something's
it's
happened and they post it.
Yeah. Or exactly.
Somebody
I bought that house, not
Yeah.
posted.
Yeah.
Someone ruined it. All posted signs now.
Yeah.
Something's over something stupid because what was it? It was out of stater.
Yep. Landowner was walking her dog and he mouthed off to her and guess
he
what?
said you shouldn't be
Every
out here
50
walking
foot,
dogs.
There's a yellow sign now.
Yep.
Here you go.
Yeah, how did that work out for you?
300 acres
Ruined
now that
for
are posted
everybody.
because of one person.
Oh, that was all good land.
That came out and said, you know, to a landowner that was walking her dog on her own property during hunting season.
Like, dude, I run into people all the time and go, "How you doing, bud? Good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
it.
want to
That's
go
the way
about
it
their own
should be,
business, you know?
That's
Like me and Lance went out turkey hunting. Couple kayakers. We had turkeys coming in.
God.
Yeah.
That kayak's a banging, dude.
He's out there trying to fly
Oh,
fish.
there goes that spot.
No, they're walking. They're
Oh,
walking.
walking
by
right
us.
down. Well, it was a walking trail.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's all right,
Yeah.
bud. We'll go to another spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, I didn't know you guys were turkey
No,
hunting.
it's fine.
The
That's
birds
my-
were
that's
almost
my
to the
favorite.
trail.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh man, another 5 yards.
you
we could shoot. Oh,
But it was
we
all
hear the
good,
car
though, you
pulling.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get in a lot of situations like that where there is a lot of people that just, they're not aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know when muzzleloader season is. They
Yeah,
don't know when
right.
it's turkey season.
Right.
So,
But they're doing the same thing. They're out just out
Exactly.
trying to get outdoors.
I
Yeah.
had a lady 2 years ago. Same thing. Bird absolutely ripping on this tote road, and I'm in the middle of it's out where I would think an area that you wouldn't really see anybody. It's a kind of drizzly day. All of a sudden, I hear Lady Gaga coming up the hill blasting. This woman is jogging down this tote road.
Yeah.
She got a
And
boombox.
I don't know. It's
Must have had a
on.
speaker
She
or
had it on a speaker or something.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and of course, I can hear it, and I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And the bird just went silent.
Yeah.
Obviously.
See you later.
I hate
So
Lady Gaga.
she sees the decoy and stops, and I just stand up, and that kind of, put her at a little bit more edge. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like I'm just, I'm just
Yeah.
kind of letting you know I'm here. Like she's like, oh, that was you, and yeah, I'm like, yeah, that was me talking to him.
Yeah.
I was about to shoot him in the face, but then you showed up. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was turkey season. I thought you could only shoot, but people aren't aware of what's going on. So
Yeah.
I
The
can't
seasons
freak
and-
out at you. You know what I mean? You have just as much right as I do, and I think it's good that other people who maybe aren't in the hunting world or whatever, they utilize the land, because today's time it's dwindling down.
Right.
There's not a lot out there.
Get out there and use it.
Get
yeah.
outside, use it. It's just a good resource to be able to have public access to it. Utilize it
Right.
as much as
So-
you possibly can.
Don't give people shit for hiking
Nope.
or walking
No,
dogs or doing
absolutely
anything
not.
else. Everybody is using the same land. So
Yep. I mean, we're all.
Sorry,
in
I
this
want to go
together.
back to bed too, but it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'm out.
So how'd you make out this season? Did you
Oh well, turkey season. We
start with deer season?
Oh,
Or no,
deer.
actually no. You're
Turkey.
right. Talk about turkey season.
I'll talk turkey because
Coming up on that.
Let's
we're
go.
coming up on it.
I want you to go through
definitely-
your whole season though, because then I want to go through your vest. And then
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, can I open this pocket?
Yeah, we'll see what's in there. It was a good year. We started out youth season, and it was weird because this past youth season was. I've never had a turkey hunt that I felt like I was dressing up for opening day of muzzleloader.
Oh, it was chilly out.
Cold,
that first day.
windy,
yeah, it was.
miserable.
Yeah, it was. Just
And-
that full week
And,
was.
I hear the kids he's like, "Who's still gonna go?" It's like, "Yeah, okay."
sure are.
So I'll close my tab. So I'm
Yeah.
going hunting, even though it's miserable, but whatever. So we went out, and it was kind of a rough hunt. We didn't hear a gobble off the roost
I
at
had
all.
the same problem that morning.
Just
It was
like-
downpouring.
Downpouring. Just like I'm looking at this. I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't youth weekend, I'd have been like, let's go get breakfast, because this is just not a good day to be turkey hunting. And he's like, I want to stick it out. It was his last youth day. He's 15. And these are the same folks that I was telling you guys about with the
Yep.
deer. This is one of the boys that hunts with me. And we went to a spot, and I saw these birds off in the field. I'm like, yeah, let's try it. 20 minutes later, we've got him in our lap. Kid ends up blasting one at 15 yards.
Sweet.
8:30 in
Nice.
the morning. So that set the tone right there. I'm like, all right, well, they're doing their thing, even though it's a little
a little
chilly.
damp
little
out.
chilly. Like, I don't want to really be out here. And so we stuck it out with that. And, of course, I hunt Maine. So for me, that's a cool thing about turkey hunting is, like, I really like youth weekend. I hunt hard. And then I go right into Maine.
Right.
Right.
So it's kind of like, we lay
You get a
some
little
down.
taste.
You get
This
used to it.
weekend,
Yeah,
we're
you get
like,
used to
oh,
it.
yeah.
You got to just wake up early and be like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, all
you
right.
get
I remember
the
what
pump up
turkey
music
season's about.
going. You're like, yeah, this is what it's
Yeah.
about. And, kind of get amped up. So I went into Maine the next day. And I got a guy that lets me hunt over there. It's a private piece. And we got in there, and it was the same thing. Sitting there, it's dead silent. I'm like, are you, like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm not even hearing turkeys gobble. Like, it just takes all the wind out of my sails,
Yeah.
And so I start calling, and 2 seconds later, right there, like within I would say 60, 70 yards. And it's pretty thick where I was. And so I'm sitting there kind of scanning, and I'm like, all right, well, he's going to come, so I got to kind of get ready. and anticipate his arrival.
Right.
And so I'm sitting around the gun, kind of watching where I think he's going to come from. Well,
Yeah.
this little bugger decides he's going to circle around, so he pops out right at 10 yards. And it's in like a gully.
You guys running a blind or just
so no? I would,
against a
like when I
tree?
hunt by myself, I try not. I run and gun. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I call, nothing goes. I keep moving.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a blind. Next year I will have a blind. This year rather. And he just kind of acted a little bit weird. He started strutting at the bottom of that gully, and I'm just I can't see him. All I can see is the top of his head and the top of his fan. He's at 12 yards. I've got no shot. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm starting to get a little bit panicky, and he's starting to get a little bit edgy. And all of a sudden, 7 Jakes come down in.
Take him.
And I'm like, here we go.
Nick loves the Jakes.
Here we go. So now I've got 8 redheads that I can't even see what a beard is, you know?
Yeah, right.
So they kind of get a little bit buggered. The Jakes are starting to run him off, and he's kind of goes to skirt the gully. And I'm like, okay, I think that's him. I'm going to send one because, I mean, it's a legal bird regardless. It's
Yeah.
Maine, so I've got my New Hampshire. I got 2 tags in New Hampshire, so I don't want to shoot a Jake, but if it happens, it happens.
Nothing
but I'm
wrong
like,
with that,
there's nothing. I'm not going to say that. There is nothing wrong with it.
Amazing.
Absolutely not. But, you know, for me personally, that's just what I want to do. So I'm like, I'm kind of taking a crapshoot with this. Like, birds are going. I'm like, ooh, I think that's him. Boom. I shot, and then when I shot, he fell over, and I saw the full fan. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
That was the smoke
Yes.
show.
Nothing crazy for a bird, you know,
Yeah.
typical around here, 19, 20 pounder. Because in Maine, they don't even bother weighing them. They just want to get them checked because
What do they measure the beard? The
Nope, don't even
spurs?
care.
Or?
They don't even care.
Really?
No, if you want it, they'll do it. Like the place that I go, and I kind of, you know, I'm like, do you guys have a scale? Oh, well, you know, it's like, it's just kind of a
They just want you to tag it.
Yeah.
They just want to tag it and get out. Buy some, you know, breakfast pizza, Mountain Dew, and get the hell out.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? But I love going there because they are good people. The state doesn't really hook them up with anything. You know, they should
Yeah.
have a state official
Maine's still
scale.
a touchy state. Well, I mean, it's
They hate
not a
turkeys.
Huge, yeah.
They hate
yeah,
turkeys
exactly,
in Maine.
yeah.
It's crazy because, you know, I feel like, right, you know, kind of going on that a little bit. Like Maine this year, it's the big thing is 410s. Like everybody's hot in the 410s. I got a 410 ready to go.
Yeah.
So why is a state that's neighboring us, you know, ahead of the times, letting people use 410s? You can shoot 5 birds in the fall there.
Yeah.
5 birds. I mean, to me,
That's why I don't
Either
think they're
sex.
ready. I don't think they're ready for that.
I
though.
mean, I will say this is
I'm no expert.
you go
Let me give you
across-
that. I'm no expert. I just don't think they're ready. I think they're jumping the gun.
I just don't think they like them because you go up, way up Maine, potato country.
Yeah.
These birds decimate these potato fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They dig everything up, and these farmers, they are so pissed at these birds, they don't even care. And they just hound the state.
Well,
and
how
do
many are
something.
getting jacked during the year?
Let's just say this. We all know, you know, you got an old-time farmer. You know what
I
I'm
know how
saying?
it
It's
goes,
like, so
yeah.
it's like, you want to help these people out, but at the time, there's not really that many birds to do that.
Right.
You know, and that was kind of my hesitation with going to the 2 birds in New Hampshire was you go over to Maine, and I know a lot of guys that hunt Maine, and they'll probably tell you this, you know, since that is a 2-bird state, it is challenging to shoot birds over there
Yeah.
because it's not like New Hampshire where it used to be, you know, you go out and shoot one, you go home. Unless you're taking, you know, your buddies out, whatever. So spots kind of freed up. Birds got less pressure. They're not.
Right.
You
Right.
hunt the first week in Maine. It's quiet after that because they know they've been pounded. You know, so that's, and you know, Maine lets you use number 7s, number 9s. Like they're kind of like with the times. Like you follow what's coming out with equipment.
Correct. Yeah, that new ammunition.
I'll tell you right now. I mean, you're a duck guy. The TSS is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just the knockdown. I mean, I'm shooting
Well,
patterns out of a 410 that literally are pretty much. If I didn't tell you it was a 410, you would think it was
wouldn't
a
know.
12 gauge.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that was my biggest thing is like with Kylie, you know,
Right.
and Liam.
Yeah.
But like 2 years ago, Kylie was going out. At 20 gauges is too much.
It's a lot of
And I'm
gun. I
just
mean,
like,
I don't care.
why isn't it
Especially
legal
shooting
for
turkey
a 410?
mags, yeah.
And I've seen what a 410 can do to a squirrel or a rabbit
Freaking out.
or anything else.
New York, okay? New York, you're allowed to. I'm pretty sure this is right, but New York, you're allowed to goose hunt with a 410. They sell goose ammunition.
actually did,
They
and
sell triple BB for goose.
You're absolutely right.
And I think it's Vermont or New York, one of them. I knew someone that
And I
brought
wasn't
kids out and they
aware of
shot
that.
ducks with 410s.
Exactly, because when I started getting into this, I started researching rounds and what we were going to use and everything like that, and I started looking at some of these. They have steel shot for this,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, so and I like maybe some of these southern states, there's some of the teal and stuff like that's a little bit more of an attraction.
Yeah, because you use number 6s and 7s for teal.
Yeah,
down south.
yeah, because it's pretty small.
Are you
birds.
planning on running a fan, a Tom fan in a 410? Is that just a youth thing?
I like right now for me, it's gonna be my gun. I don't have anybody that I take over in Maine, so the 410s just honestly,
You can one hand that bitch.
I got a pistol. So
Okay.
I gotta,
Oh, you got the
shit.
judge with the gun.
yeah, I
Oh,
wasn't
God.
gonna say it, but
You got the judge?
No, I
What
got
do
a
you got?
contender.
All right.
Super,
Oh, you got a contender. Okay,
Super
yeah.
14. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna one hand the turkey.
I'm gonna literally let him come as
Yeah.
close as he wants, and he's gonna
Put
get
the
it.
decoy.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, like for like that spot that I got in Maine, like
I can't wait. I
Just
want
gotta be-
to. I want to see
You
it.
just gotta
That's
be.
exciting.
I'm
Like,
excited because like for me, like
Just
I
gotta
bought-
worry about other hunters
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting shot.
it's just
Because you always hear someone,
Well, if
an
you don't run
accident.
the fan though, if you're just gonna set up like a
I'm
regular,
just gonna set up the fan thing. Like I'll be honest with you, like
I'm afraid of that too.
I've done it.
I haven't.
We've killed birds doing it. Me and my buddy JT.
Yeah.
We have we've gotten some luck with it. He has this most ridiculous setup that you will ever see. He took a piece of styrofoam and a fan that kind of fell apart, and he epoxied the feathers in the styrofoam.
Right.
So it just looks horrendous. Like this thing is like a naked, wet rat.
Yeah.
And you walk. I mean, I shot a bird with it 3 years ago, but we just in a certain situation we'll do it, but that's really rare. For probably like for the first couple, usually the first 2 weeks I will run decoys. I know a lot of guys are, you don't need decoys, but it's like I like to give these things a visual. Like I grew up in a college town. I think these birds relate to just their functions. Like they're in a college town. These are frat boys coming to a party. Like you got to give them, what they want.
Give 'em something.
You got to give them something.
Yeah.
He's got the live thing in front of him. She's looking good.
Yeah.
You're over there. Why am I going to go over there and stick my beak out?
Yeah.
They know what's going on. They're not dumb.
Right. Yeah.
So
it can hurt you, or
It
certain
definitely can.
situations where
Absolutely.
they just hold up and they don't come in anymore, or then
and you just gotta kind of go with what
Yeah.
you feel like the bird's
Yep.
attitude is. Like I sat there the night before, and you listen to him, and he's just sitting there hammering, and you just like, he's alone in that tree. He is like, "Where's my woman? Where's my
Yeah.
woman?" It's
He ran off a bunch of other hands.
yeah. So
You know
don't
what I'm
worry.
saying?
We'll come take care of you in the morning, and those are the ones that I feel like you have a better chance with a decoy. If he's sitting there, he's sitting there gobbling because he's looking
searching.
for you.
Yeah,
Right.
He is trying to get something to respond to him, to let everything know that he is there.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the birds. Okay, like you know what? That's usually 9 times out of 10 that's the dominant bird. Not all the time, but certain situations, I've really become a huge fan of full strut decoy. A lot of people think that I am absolutely crazy for
I
it.
think you're crazy.
And it is ballsy. I will tell you this. I have
Pushed off a
literally
lot of
I have
birds.
pushed off a lot of birds, but I
Yeah.
have killed a lot of big birds. I've got in my vest, we'll go through it later. I brought some spurs from my New Hampshire hunt that I haven't even talked about yet. But that was a 24-pounder, 1.25
Nice.
spurs, just absolute stud.
Wow.
But that's
Big Bird.
I presented that to him, and he did not like that.
And he came in running?
He came in, he beat the shit out of that Avian X.
Really?
And he did not like the fact that we were there.
Go right into that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good
Yeah.
little transition to that. So we talked about Maine. So then New Hampshire came right in the middle of the week. And it's kind of a good time for me because my birthday is May 5th. If anybody's looking to get me anything for my birthday, but
What do you want? What do you want?
just falls right in my favorite time of the year. So it's like I take a bunch of time off. So I got Youth Day, I got Maine, I got my birthday. Like it just
We're killing all the birds.
I'm just living the dream right
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean? So it's a good time of year. It's warm out. We're out riding bikes. Like life's good. Like it's a good time of the year. So New Hampshire started up, and it was challenging. Like me and my dad kind of hunted a little bit together. We had some pressure up where we hunt, and just really couldn't get on anything. And I think it was the second day of the season. I went out by myself, and he hunted, I think, a little bit on his own, but had some stuff going on. So I was hunting down, I call it the flatlands, down by me, Seacoast area. And it was like 11 o'clock. My buddy calls me, and he's just like, dude, there's a giant in the road. Like, he's going to come out back behind the house. So if you got to get on this now. It's 11:20.
Yeah.
So
we're running out of time,
so
folks.
I'm like, you know what? Like, I got nothing to lose. So I hammered on over there. I was about 5 minutes away. I got right there. He's sitting right there waiting for me. Yeah. I'm throwing my vest on, grabbing my gun, load the gun. I'm like, all right, relax. So, just like he's right there. So I snuck out back there. And I could just kind of waited, let it calm down a little bit. It's 11:30 at this point. And, everything, we are legal, folks. Like, we're not sitting behind people's houses looking into people's windows, so no one needs to get nervous.
You're running and gunning.
We were legal. It was a good spot back behind his place.
Yeah.
And I called, and he just right away.
Fired off.
He was more like, where did that come from? Because I'm in front of him. I caught him right off and got right in front of him. Knew right where he wanted to go. Got right in front of him, had decoys set up, and he went a little quiet and started doing some sketchy stuff. I'm like, all right, well, he's playing the game. I think this is an older bird.
He's gonna come in quiet.
Come in quiet. And about 5 minutes later, you just hear that spitting and drumming. So for me, that's when I literally I put the slate call down. And I tell anybody that hunts with me, you do not move at that point. You do not blink. You don't want to breathe at this point because this is about to get real. He comes into that opening. There's like a little junction in the trail, and he sees that decoy, and he literally just runs. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna happen.
Oh,
he starts
shit!
Beating the shit out of that AVNX decoy, and it finally fell off the peg. And just kind of flopped there and made like a kind of weird noise.
Yeah.
And he just kind of he just didn't like it.
Thing ain't real.
I'm like, you know what? The show's over. Boom! Just absolutely flattened him. And I got up to him, and I'm like, whoa! There's some bling right there, like that. I haven't shot a bird with spurs like that ever in my life.
Wow.
Hunting in New Hampshire, I mean, some hooks and. We went to the tagging station, and he ended up weighing it. It was 24 pounds.
Dang.
Nice.
That's a pig.
And that was the biggest bird that got tagged into that particular tag station for the year. So
good deal.
that was pretty cool. My buddy, the guy that let me hunt behind his house, he was tagged out. That's why he didn't go after it. He shot one that was 23.5 pounds. So I beat him out.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah. Shot his bird.
Thank you.
Shot his bird, and then it was bigger than him. So that was kind of the inside joke, but it was cool hunt. I mean, but after that, it got really tough for me. Time, work, you know how it goes. It's just,
everyone gets busy.
It's just kind of last year we had a lot going on with work, and we were just really busy. So I just didn't really get to hunt a lot. And the weekends that I did get to hunt, it was like, do I really want to wake up at 3:00 right now?
Yeah,
So
I feel that all year. It's like you wake up early all year long, and you're like, son of a bitch. The alarm's going off at 3:30.
Exactly. But, I had some hunts that 6:00 went out, and I ended up shooting another one at basically I think it was the last week of the season. Just kind of, I basically deer hunted them. I located them, figured out what they were doing, and I just sat.
Cut them off.
I just sat. I waited for him for 4 hours, and he gobbled twice, I think, and I shot him. It was just kind of one of those deals, but it was a tougher turkey season. I think the weather last year kind of played a little bit of a toll into things. Yeah. It was wet, and just it was different.
I thought they were gonna have a crappy year. How wet it was last year from the spring to the summer.
It was cold.
I'm like, yeah, a lot of eggs for ruffed grouse. They're mating in the spring.
Yeah.
Or they're hatching eggs in the spring. So I'm like, man, there's gonna be a lot of chicks lost. And you know what? They had a lot of a late hatch.
They
for
did.
Turkey.
I was
I've
gonna
seen
say,
birds
like, there was
small in
July.
August. I'm like,
July.
August, I was seeing pulps. I'm like, what the
Exactly.
frick is that?
Yeah.
So this is either second hatch or they're just having it late.
Yeah, that I think. Yeah, just with the cold, definitely put a damper on things. The birds were there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, we were still checking on spots, and the birds still were there. It was just they weren't doing their thing.
I know my grandfather. He has birds that come in. He's turned into more of a photographer with his camera, and so he just loves to see the birds. So he has a lot that come in the yard. And after the season, it was probably June or July. He always calls, and he was telling me that the birds were hammering across the street in the morning. Just every morning they were gobbling for like June into July.
It's crazy.
Like
how
they were
they'll
still
do that.
breeding.
Yeah. No, we've heard them 4th of July. Like,
Yep.
It's like,
I'm like, holy.
and you kind of
smokes.
think like you're like, okay, well, am I hearing stuff now? Because
Yeah.
I'll
So
tell
this
you
is
right
late.
now, there's days after you turkey hunt, like I hear gobbles all the time.
Yeah.
I'm in market basket. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whoa, we got one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, there's a hot one in here.
Jeez, like,
You gotta hit that
the
ridge
worst-
right now.
The worst thing is like I don't know if you bass fish or
Oh,
or
yeah.
not. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So May, like that second, third week in May when they're sitting on the beds.
Yeah.
You can just pitch it into the weeds. You're generally you're near, next to shore. Yeah, I can always hear like
Gobble
birds.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like,
yeah.
those things.
yeah.
Oh my god,
They
it's still
start
hot.
ripping.
Yeah.
They start ripping. It's tough because like I haven't really bass fished that much because I just get so caught up with turkey season and then like the
Going to
stripers. The stripers just take over for me.
Oh, you're
It's
in a
just
good
like,
spot for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
addiction. It's just like you start catching some of those big ones. My brother, he pulled his biggest one this year was 47, and it
Holy
was just
smokes.
a
That's big.
toad. I mean,
When do you have to throw it back? What's the size? Do you
I'm
know?
not even sure.
I
to be
can't
honest
remember.
because I don't.
Where there's a
Because every
size
time
where you
I
can't
go,
keep it.
I don't catch these big fish, so
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
I'm catching
Yeah.
schoolies. They
Yeah.
go back anyways.
We'll catch,
Yeah.
30, 40 of those, and the days that I don't go, it seems
That's
to
fun
catch
too,
a
though.
dro-
Catching schoolies is awesome.
I love just being out in the ocean. It's
Yeah.
just like we live in such a beautiful area that you can go from ocean to mountains and just there's so much to see. It's just great area.
What are you running in your
Turkey vest.
turkey vest?
So yeah, I got like I don't know. A lot of guys will kind of say I run a little bit light, but that's kind of my style. Like I go. I put my boots on. I'm not the type of guy that gets out of his truck and hits a box call and hopes to hear one off the side of the road. I like to go in spots that a lot of guys don't go and will have to walk in. So my vest is basically what I need. I hunt with mostly mouth calls. That's basically how I strike birds all the time. I kind of rely on them a little bit too much sometimes, I think.
Yo.
So just switching up the tone maybe a
Yeah,
little bit.
and
maybe
like
getting-
a lot of guys like say, well, you don't really need like I got a little lanyard that I can show you guys, and I've got probably 15, 20 different mouth calls in there.
holy smokes!
And it's
On a
it sounds
lanyard?
like crazy. It sounds crazy.
I think they're just
Yeah.
a little case.
It's a little case,
Yeah,
a little
little
pouch.
case,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's for me. I have noticed over the years that, just like think for yourself. Like this is a kind of joke. Like I worked in a gun shop for a little bit, and you hear a female's voice, certain kind of tone. You kind of
Yeah.
peek out on the. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
who's
come
that?
out
Hey.
to check it out. Like,
Right.
who's that? And turkeys are the exact same way. Like I've called at them, and there's something about that call that they don't like, and then I switch it up, and it's
All of a
totally
sudden,
different turkey.
It's different.
Like I'm dealing with a totally different animal right now, and that's kind of what I've learned over the years. So I kind of like to have a little bit of variety. I lean a little bit more towards like some of the nicer higher end calls, like I like the Woodhaven and the zinc calls. I use a lot of really, really kind of crazy, just out there cuts that a lot of people are just like, what the hell is that?
more
But
raspy, more more
sometimes
squeaky.
it is. It just really depends on the cut of the call, and I like to have that
Kind of a
availability
diaphragm.
Yeah.
because you can just get some different tones. I mean, I have
Right.
some that are so raspy, it sounds awful.
Sounds like a Tom Yelp.
It sounds
like a male Yelp.
awful. But
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I have one call that everybody laughs at me because it literally sounds like the thing's dying. It's just so raspy, and I can't tell you how many birds have died with that thing in my mouth.
Fires them up, right?
They just love it.
It's that old cougar that smokes menthols.
Exactly. They just you've had a couple too many Millers, a Crown or two, and things, you're feeling pretty. But it's just they think the exact same way.
Yeah,
they're just. Ooh, what's that over there? That sounds a little bit better than what I got.
Yeah.
Different.
Bye, Felicia. I'm going to see that. And that's kind of my mentality with it. Like, I run slates. I have 2 slates that are my go-to, and it's kind of funny because, like, I've had both of them for probably as long as I've been turkey hunting, honestly. Like, I have one.
Are they slate, glass, or are they?
So I've got a bunch of different stuff, but for me right now, like, I use the glass and the aluminum.
Okay, yeah.
I just ran that aluminum when we were all bullshitting before.
Yeah.
That thing, I gotta get one of those.
It's raspy.
That thing is freaking sweet.
And the thing is like, that's a $20 call that I bought probably like
years ago. Yeah.
I won't, because I've only run slate calls. With a slate striker.
And that's the thing is, like, when you kind of get them dialed in like that, like, I mean, you can ask my woman, like, I sit there and, like, manage
play with calls.
Knock it off.
She's like, why don't you touch me like that? Don't worry about it.
Spit on
Season's
it.
coming. Exactly. So it's like, it's you can get a lot of what you got, but it's kind of cool to have a little bit of variety. A lot of guys don't run aluminum. Like, it's kind of a southern thing. A lot of guys that I hunted with from down south, that's what they run, is the aluminum and the glass. And I just like that sound. It's a very raspy, high pitchy, and just when you're sitting there running, trying to, cut on that, you can get some really dramatic, just like, some screeching. Like, just kind of, I'm pissed. Like, you need to get over here right now and come see me, or I'm getting the hell out of here type shit. And it just worked for me. It's just, but it is crazy to see. Like, I do have custom calls that, whatever. And I've got $20 calls, and you look at my best. As well. I got 2 $20 calls, and I got 2 brand new. Somebody just sent me this copper call from, I don't even know, this guy out in Alabama. It's beautiful, like just
this guy in New Hampshire that makes copper calls too.
Yeah, I think I know what.
Gary.
Yeah. They some really. I like copper. I'm kind of researching a little bit. But a beautiful call. It's like, I don't even know what kind of wood. It's that cypress, like tiger cypress or whatever.
Right, yeah.
It looks, you know what I mean? It looks pretty.
I mean, the guys that can build those things,
oh man,
that's an art.
I can't get the sound that I want out of it, so it's a coffee table piece for me.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think it's cool. I appreciate the guys that make them. They put a lot of time. It is an art, and some guys can get better sound out of it. I don't know. I used to grow up going to Walmart and buying turkey calls. So
I ran my slate call until my dog ate it until we killed a lot of birds. A lot of birds.
What are you talking about? The one we had this year that we pretty much
he
just
ate my
hunted
striker.
with?
It was like it was a match made in heaven. I had that slate call.
Yeah.
And it was the drum in the back was dented.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Then,
that thing called in every bird this year.
Yeah.
But my slate call, I mean, the striker was slate or graphite, and it was like a match. That thing was sweet.
I like the graphite strikers. They're kind of honestly, you don't really see a lot of graphite strikers
you see
anymore.
The plastic. I like the oak.
Cheap wood.
Yeah.
I like a good oak.
Yeah. But I do like the graphite. It's hard to come by. I got a couple. I don't think I have one in there because those ones that I have, that glass just likes that cherry striker. I can get that thing ripping on a windy day.
That's
it's
sweet. Sand it down.
Yeah, you just sit
there. Do you hit it with sandpaper when you touch up yours, or do you use
Scotch-Brite?
Scotch-Brite.
Scotch-Brite.
Yep.
I didn't know if
Not
anyone that listened to this maybe look for a little tip. But
yeah, Scotch-Brite is definitely. I don't know. Is sandpaper?
So not 80 grit. You're telling people not to throw 80.
I mean, hammer down. Like you do you. You won't have much call left. But
talking about if you need to tune up like a slate call, glass call, any of those pot calls.
Absolutely.
If you touch it with your fingers, obviously keep your fingers off it.
Don't
or
touch
you get
them.
it wet.
Don't
you're
touch
hunting
them.
in the rain or something like that. Touch it up with some Scotch-Brite or whatever.
And I try to tell people to locate that spot that feels best for you. That like you can get a good sound out of it. If you look, I only have
freaking
silver dollar spot on the call, and the rest of it's untouched. But that's the spot. That is the sweet spot.
We like to call that in the game the G spot.
I didn't know if I could say this on here, but yeah, you got it. You hit it right on the head with
that thing.
So
hit that thing, Nick says.
But yeah, you got to find it, and it's once you got it. I mean, those things, they can produce some sound. It's crazy to think that, sitting there rubbing a freaking piece of fucking wood together. Probably can't say that on there, but with the glass,
it does worse shit sit on this.
But with the glass, how does that? It just
the friction.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, friction. Cool.
I think we need to calm down a little bit.
No, we're good.
Okay, the friction.
Friction.
Jesus.
No, that's you.
That's
you.
Sorry.
Nick's getting excited.
Jesus. Who the hell is this? Who the hell is this guy over here?
Before we jump into, I want to come back to. I want to circle back into turkey season, but.
Nick shaved his whole beard off. He looks
That's
like an
not
idiot.
the time of day to talk about it right now. Right?
Nick, come on.
I fucked up.
What a loser.
Yeah, you fucked up.
How'd
your
been there?
deer season go?
Well, it was tough because the deer that I shot this year, it ended up being the most expensive deer that I've ever shot, because I actually tore my labrum in the process of drawing my bow on the deer.
Labia?
No. Everyone says that to me. I'm like,
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
So you have Dr. Doyon educating everybody. I had no idea about this because I know nothing about any of this. So I saddle hunt because for me, like being mobile that's the only way that I can hunt where I hunt because there are so many people. So I got on a spot that I had some does coming through, and I'm like, well, you know what? It's early season, like.
Hey, we might get a coronavirus later on in the year,
whatever.
and I don't
We'll
know. So I might jack some does and fill the freezer.
I love shooting deer with a bow. It goes back to my roots, regardless of size.
Right.
So it was like I think it was the last week of October. So I was getting ready. Like things were starting to get a little bit toasty in the woods, and deer came in from an area that I wasn't expecting, and when it did. He kind of came in, and I had to angle my feet a different way. And with the adrenaline, I wasn't really supported. And so when I drew back, I literally just tore it, right? The doctor said you literally just tore it.
Explain for people what.
So I don't know. There's probably some people out here that know more about this than I do. I'm not a doctor. I'm a machinist. I turn wrenches every single day, but
there's not that much of a difference.
It's kind of the same thing, But so you have your rotator cuff and your labrum. So your your rotator cuff allows you to raise your arm up and down vertically. So pick it up above your head, bring it down.
Yeah.
Your labrum is what allows you to pivot on that ball and socket. So when you rotate. So can you when you
lets you keep it in your socket?
Yes.
Yeah. When
you're literally at an anchor point on your bow, you have that completely stretched all the way.
Yeah.
I had some issues years past. Shoulder kind of bothered me. Whatever. Shooting 70-pound bow, probably a little bit more than what I needed. It's my elk setup, and I tore that thing right off. I'll tell you right now.
While pulling back the bow,
I was looking at him through the peak. And I'm not gonna. And I'm literally. I can. I feel like I can take a little bit of pain, but
yeah, absolutely.
That was one of the most painful injuries that I think I've had. I've broken my hand. I've done some crazy stuff. That was the most overbearing pain. And meanwhile, I'm looking at this thing. I shot it was a nice 5-pointer, but he was real wide, kind of spindly swamp buck. Really, I mean, I was real thrilled to death to be able to, get the encounter. And that happened, and my shoulder's shaking so bad. I mean, I can't even hold it up. Right now, even just sitting here trying to, I can feel it.
Wait, you shot this deer?
I shot him.
He got it.
Oh, I got him.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I got him.
Oh,
I got him.
He said it's the most expensive deer.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Bill
okay,
after
it all
that.
comes together now.
So
we
got him out, and we went a couple of weeks, and I'm like, geez, I'm not getting any better. Went to the doctor, had an MRI. They're like,
she's taught.
She's like, there's no rehab that can help this. Like, we're gonna cut you open. So I was a little bit turned off after that because my shoulder hurt so bad. I was terrified that if I got it up in a tree stand or something and did something and tore that, if because I'll be honest, I don't have lifelines on every single one of my tree stands. So if for some reason I'm climbing and that thing gives out, I got one hand. I'm 230 pounds. That's a lot to hold on. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't risk getting in a tree this year. So I did a lot of kind of old school stuff, sitting up on spots, and I had a great time. It was got into a couple of deer, had one really nice encounter with a buck that just did not work out. It just at last second, the wind's blowing right at him, and he took off. But at the same time, with all that being said, like I had some really good friends of mine shoot the biggest deer of their lives this year.
Right.
I had a buddy shoot 150 inch, just absolute tank, 201, like absolute smasher. That he had
Southern New Hampshire too.
That's New Hampshire. Yep.
No, Southern New Hampshire.
Seacoast area.
Holy
yep.
Fuck.
Yeah. Just absolute giant, and to be a part of that and to have some beers while that thing's sitting there hanging, looking like a piece
that's
of,
the best part.
That's what.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And then my other buddy, one of my best childhood friends, shot it. He shot a 195, really nice 8-pointer in the area that we basically grew up hunting together. And so that was cool in itself. But my deer season was just very short lived. I did not really put a lot of time into doing it with my injury and everything, but I got to be a part of a lot of cool hunts. I hunted with some people, tagged along, did some pushes. Like, it kind of brought me back to my roots a little bit because I kind of felt like I kind of pushed a lot of people away when it comes time to it because it's like, I got to get in a tree stand. But I was starting to kind of, I can't really do anything, so I need other people to come with me and whatever. And it just kind of brought me back to how it all started.
Yeah, driving around with your buddy. Just
reality check. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We all kind of get caught up in it and the seriousness of it. And it's like I'm hunting this one buck and it's, I'm seeing guys everywhere and it's just, kind of getting stressed out. So I kind of reached out and hunted some different areas and went to Maine and just met some guys. It was a good year. I really enjoyed it overall.
I'm kind of jealous of the like out west, not even out west, but like Michigan. They always talk about their like their deer camp. They have deer camp every year. It's gonna be this date, and everybody's coming, and we're gonna just go. It doesn't matter what you shoot. We're going there for a good time, and it doesn't matter if anybody shoots anything. We're just going there
have a good
and
time.
we're gonna have some beers, and we're gonna cook some good food, and we're gonna have good conversation.
The older I get, the more I realize
That's
is
what
really
I love.
what it is about.
Yeah, you can shoot spike bucks. You can. I mean, I'd love
who doesn't
archery season? I want to shoot a monster.
Everybody does.
We're gonna do. I'm gonna do it this year. I don't care what anybody says. Nick, shut your mouth. I'm gonna do it.
That was a good one.
No, that's what it comes down to, though.
I was pumped.
No, I want to shoot a good buck, but I also want to go to deer camp. I want to see everybody else have a good time. Doesn't matter.
Be a blast. Don't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just shoot what you want to shoot. Let's all have a good time.
Making memories, baby.
You know how many years I've gone out and had a good time, didn't get one?
Yeah, and that's
making memories.
That's the reality of it. Like, it doesn't really matter what you shoot at that point. It's good group of guys. You're having a good time. The camaraderie in camp. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. Like, I find a lot of times, like, I do a lot of hunting alone, and it's kind of like, ooh, this is... You take it a little bit at a different level at that point, I think. And then once you start hunting with people, it's puts a little bit more fun back into it. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Right? Just having that right-hand man, just having that
I took that day off, I went out, I go, this is dumb. I go, I'm going home. I go back to work. Nothing out here.
He's so mad.
I was so mad that day.
But
you guys were at work. There was no one around.
It wasn't all that.
Out. It wasn't that bad either. No.
It's I don't give a shit.
Sorry, it's the short.
If I have a day off, I can go sit in the stand, and I know I have a trail camera there, and there's nothing coming out. I'm still happy the whole time.
No,
just being out there,
absolutely.
Watching the woods wake up. I mean, it helps if you have something on camera. I guess
absolutely.
You have a good idea.
I mean, I hunted in the snow. That was like kind of the thing. We came into a lot of just work, got busy, and I really wasn't able to take any time off the gun hunt in the snow. Like I just want that's my favorite thing to do. Like, it just kind of brings me back to me and my dad going out in the woods, walking next to him with his rifle and just like learning everything, just being out there in the snow. That night it snowed. I said, listen, I'm done. Like, I'm not coming in. So I went out and just...
We're going tracking,
I mean,
boys.
the most miserable day that you could want to track a deer in the snow. It's just windy, everything. But I was just like, you know what? I felt like a little kid again. I'm like, I am just happy to be out here.
Yeah.
There's snow falling off the trees. I'm soaking wet.
Yeah, it doesn't...
That's good time.
It's just a great
That's the
time to be
best,
out,
man.
walking around with a gun. Like, I got a torn labrum, like about to have a giant surgery that I can't afford. Life's good. Like,
Life is perfect. I love it.
you know.
I love every second of it. What are you doing? What are you gonna do? You have any youth lined up for this season?
Yeah, I think I got 2 so far. I got one kid that I don't think he's shot a turkey yet, and he's getting a little bit older, and he's not going to be able to go much. So I said to him, I'm like, yeah, if you guys want to go, we can do it. And I'm going to take him out in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And then I got somebody that I work with whose son wants to take one. He lives in Maine, so I told him, I'm like, but this year the dates are a little bit funky. New Hampshire's
I haven't
the
looked at it.
25th, 26th.
Yeah.
Maine is
for youth, yeah.
Yeah.
Maine
Just
is
that
actually
last
Youth
weekend.
Day is the same day that as New Hampshire. Like, we can hunt New Hampshire. It's May 1st, opening day in New Hampshire,
Right.
and Maine Youth Day is that Saturday. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
it's kind of funky this year because it's never really fallen like that. And usually it's just I can't really explain, but it's just different. So we might go out New Hampshire, we might go Maine. He's kind of a smaller kid. We got to see what he's going to be able to shoot. That's kind of,
Right.
you know what I mean. I want him to be comfortable with it.
Maine 410. You're
Yeah,
good
Maine,
now.
exactly.
Well, ready to roll.
Ready to roll. And I'll tell you right now, the TSS is unbelievable. My dad's got a 21-inch setup dialed in. I got my 14-inch and the 21-inch, and they're both, they're turkey killing machines. So I'm excited to get that
Perfect.
out. Try that this year. Get on the 410 craze that everybody's talking
That'd
about.
be sweet.
I'm excited for when New Hampshire switches their shit up.
I think they'll do it. They'll
Does it.
see. Like, it's just, there's no reason for them not to do
It's
it.
got enough power.
It's got
Come
enough
on.
power. Anybody that knows anything
Sling a
about
BB
this,
down there.
it's the way that a 410 shell has the shot stacked up on it versus like
Yeah.
a 12 gauge where it's just packed in there. You're getting shot that travels behind it, and the shot is staying together a little bit longer.
Right.
And they're getting some devastating results. It's unbelievable. And these are not even really that expensive guns that these guys are rigging up.
Yeah.
This is single shot Stevens. It's unbelievable.
That old Stevens.
I got one.
Son of a bitch.
That's
Old
what I'm using.
HR Stevens,
Yep,
yeah.
that's what I got in a long gun, just in case. Though I don't know. We'll see how the handgun thing goes because I got a little bit too amped up, so I got to kind of get dialed in with that a little bit and try to practice. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
shoot it tomorrow a little bit more to see, but that's my goal. That's my plan. I think it'd be badass.
What do you think you can reach out to?
20.
20?
Yeah.
Comfortable with 20?
Yeah, 20, 25. That's all I'll do with that handgun.
Yeah.
And it will shoot it.
I'm sure it will.
They there's a company that makes a aftermarket turkey choke for it. We shot.
Oh, no
Oh
shit.
yeah, my dad shot
Really?
it. Oh yeah.
What brand's
Well,
that?
how does that
I
work with
honestly
your...
don't even know the brand, but I know there's a guy, J.R. Schultz. If any of the TC guys out there, this guy's been making aftermarket chokes for TC guns for a long time. I'm a big TC guy. Being
Yeah.
from Rochester, like,
Oh, yeah. I still run
you know
an
what
Encore.
I mean?
Muzzle
I
loader.
love my TCs. Love my TCs. So
Yeah.
to kind of get that was kind of cool, kind of just because that's what we started shooting. 410. My dad gave me that and said, "Here you go. Like, we're gonna go for a walk." So that's
Yeah.
again bringing me back to my childhood, which is kind of cool. So I'm
And you're
excited.
talking about your contender, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if anyone knew that.
Yeah, contender. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good deal.
I love my TCs.
What do you have for time? Where we go here?
Got it. We're right at an hour.
An hour.
Hour,
Shit,
baby.
yeah. Let's get into deer
That time-
season.
all right,
What'd your
time
deer?
goes by
What'd your
quick.
deer season look like?
Not too great, but
No.
no. Well, but
Got injured, dude.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
that's
Meathead.
Son of a bitch.
So how'd it
I
go?
didn't want to.
So yeah,
I didn't
no,
wanna
now,
put that on
so now on the on the upscale of it, got my surgery. Got 3 anchors in my shoulder. I got brave this morning because all this bow hunting, and I knew I was coming here.
Did you
and
pull
I'm
back
like,
on one?
my old lady looks at me and she's like,
You're not gonna
don't do it.
You're
I
not
go,
gonna do
I'm
it.
not taking
"Really?
care of you
Watch
today.
this. And I did it, and she's just sitting there shaking her head. I'm like, get a picture, put this on Snapchat.
No one's gonna believe
Put
it.
this on Snapchat. I need to show the world. I was pumped, so I'm gonna, start shooting again and get back into it. Get trimmed up for deer season. Turkey season's kind of. I use turkey as my scouting season.
Yeah.
I find a lot of those trails, a lot of those
early
runs.
spring's perfect for that. Yeah.
And I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a camera I put a camera in my turkey vest, and if I find something, I'll mark it on my GPS. Boom, bang.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah, carry a
I
camera with
can't
you.
imagine. Everyone talks about it. Oh, this would be a great deer spot, and you just talk about it.
You're right.
You know
Never
what I
go
mean?
back
Like,
to it.
So that's what I learned. Bring a camera with you
Right.
because you will find some of those spots. In today's technology, the Onyx, I run that in between my GPS. Like I can basically find anything nowadays. So utilize those tools and put your cameras out in May. There's no reason they're not doing you any good sitting in the basement collecting dust.
Go to Walmart, pick up those $28 cameras, and just throw one in your turkey
Everybody
vest. You don't
laughs,
care about it.
When those wild game, those $50 special, they infrared flash. They got the red light because everybody's all about the blackout, which I am too.
Yeah.
But $50 camera. I go out there. I get some of the biggest deer that I got pictures of walking.
You just
in front
need
of
to know that they're there. You're seeing something.
you know what I mean?
It just gives you a little hope.
Exactly.
Hey, okay, I see. At least it has antlers. I can count the
I
points.
do.
That's all you need.
I do want to invest in a couple, like what Kevin was saying when he was on, is the spy points.
Those
Yeah.
spy
Just
point,
sit.
jeez. Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to
they're-
invest in those just because, like, if you don't want to go in there and like,
I know there's some
kind of
rules
like
with
we
it,
we think we did.
It's a little sketchy deal, and I'm not gonna admit to anything, but they are a nice tool to have. Just
No,
for
I
that,
know. But just to have, you don't have to go up.
No, and like
booger a spot up. You know what I'm
people,
saying? You can.
I know a
just-
guy that shot a deer and had those cameras in there, and the law came back and tried to give him a little bit of,
Depending
well,
on him,
you
yeah.
got, and it's like, you know what? I'm just trying to play this smart because if you're doing it right, you're not going to cut corners. I don't want to bump this deer out of here.
Right.
And I got to be smart. I got to play the wind. There's a lot of variables to it. Just because I have a picture of him at 7:30 in the morning and I shoot him that day doesn't mean that it's because of that picture.
Right.
Right.
I know he's there, so now I got to play it smart and I got to figure out how I'm going to get myself in there, scent free, and not blow him out of there.
Yeah. No, it's a huge tool.
It's an unbelievable tool.
I had to look up and like research legality of it because I know Kevin mentioned you can't hunt over it
You can't hunt over it
the same day.
Yeah.
24 hours, yeah.
So whatever it is, but either way, even if it's just if it's just a scouting tool, that's huge.
Especially
Yeah, hell
like-
yeah. Just leave it there and let it take pictures
Yeah.
throughout the year. Then you can
Yeah.
even take it out when archery comes and go
or
back
even
to your
during the
normal
week.
trail
Like
cameras.
a lot of us are weekend warriors. Everybody works
Yeah.
during the week.
Go pull
One
it,
works up here.
shut it off.
Pull it Friday, get out of work early, shut it off. Like, do what you got to do. They're a great tool. I do have a couple that we utilize, and it's nice to know what's going on. We use them for more of a security purpose because if I get a ping, like the AR-15s are coming out, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just
That's
kind of nice.
actually
to
a good
know.
idea, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like that's kind of
We don't run into so much of that issue
No.
up here,
No.
but I can imagine.
Oh, down there, it's you.
I can on Facebook. I see like, oh, someone jacked this, someone jacked this. I'm like, what in the hell is going on?
The
Everybody's stealing
world
stands
is
and
it's
cameras.
bad, and half the
Stole
problem
my
is
toilet
like
paper.
the people that you get pictures of, at 11 o'clock at night. It's like, what are you doing out here?
Yeah.
Like I got pictures of people walking around in the dark. It's like, guy, I'm a grown ass man. I got a Glock 10 strapped to my hip, and I ain't walking out there in the middle of the dark.
Right. I have
What
got
are
no
you
business
doing out here? And
Yeah.
you certainly don't have a gun.
Yeah.
By the looks of you, But it's crazy. It's just different world we live in, unfortunately. But
Killing it. Everyone drinks at the same time.
I know that was weird.
Besides Nick.
So you still doing any Midwest or Western hunts
we're putting in,
planned?
We've not this year. No. Well, actually, no. I can't say that because I'll be going to Kansas second or third week of November. We haven't really firmed up dates.
Yeah.
But that's a plan this year. And the goal of the trip, my brother, Mikey, he has not shot a big buck yet. He has literally watched it all around him.
Yeah.
He's been a part of a lot of it and seen a lot of it, but he has not been a part of it.
Just hasn't got there.
The kid is, I mean, he hunts hard. That kid puts in some time. He is out there any second that he can. I mean, he does all day sits in New Hampshire.
Right.
Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll do it if I got something going on, but I ain't jumping for joy to sit in a tree in New Hampshire all day long. But he does it just because he's just that, hardcore. So
driven.
The goal of the trip is I would really like to see him put some bone on the wall. That's kind of the goal of it. I'm going to go just to kind of clean up the mess if things get a little bit fuzzy down there. But I'm really excited to go and hopefully to see him get his first,
big
wall-worthy deer.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
All bow hunt.
All
archery?
bow hunt. Yeah. All archery. Right in the rut. I mean, it's down there. I mean, we talk about the rut up here, but I love hunting with a bow down there because it's just the encounters you get
throughout the whole day.
Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable. I went out there when I was in high school, and I shot a deer out there, and I shot it at 1:30 in the afternoon. I was literally sitting there eating a ham sandwich.
1:30 in the afternoon.
1:30 in the afternoon, and I'm sitting there, and this doe is going 1,000 miles an hour. And she's just coming down into this little valley where I'm sitting. And I look up and I go, are you kidding me? He's literally dogging her, just right up her ass. So I literally put the sandwich in my pocket, grabbed the bow.
Save that for later. Yeah. Throw it off the stand.
Nope, keep that. You never know where you're going to be at. So I'm sitting there, grab the bow. And he comes right into 20 yards, and I just go, hey, asshole, because he just wasn't stopping. I mean, I'm nothing. And I go, this is it. This is all I got. Hey, asshole. He literally locked him up. Punk. And I center punched him at 18 yards, and I ended up taking him home. But it was just crazy. I'm sitting there afterwards, and I'm just like, put my bow back up on the hook. It's full sun. It's like 60 degrees.
It's almost noontime.
I'm sitting there eating a sandwich in a short sleeve.
I'm going to finish my sandwich now.
It's like, and that goes to show people, like, you don't know. When the rut's going on, shit's going down. These things don't
Any time of the day, they don't stop.
He knew. My wind was awful. Like, there was that should not have happened, in any way, shape, or form. He was
just being dumb. Yeah.
He was just looking for love, and you got a FMJ right in the lungs. So.
Yeah. Perfect. Any other plans? Lottery?
Well, we've been putting in. I mean, we got tags in for a lot of places out west, but I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Luck of the draw, and then financial funds is huge. I mean, this stuff's
not cheap.
It's not cheap, and like everyone's like, "How do you do it?" Well, you don't see me with a Denali out there, and that's what I mean. That's the sacrifices that I make to do this. Is it is an investment, but I love this shit.
Right.
This is my life. This is what I think about every single day. I work to do this.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's really what it is to me. So I enjoy it, and anytime we get the opportunity, we get drawn, we go, and it's kind of cool because, last time I went to New Mexico, I drew, and everybody else didn't, but my family still went with me just to be there.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
To be
the
experience.
To take the time off and the investment to go out there and be a part of it, even though you don't have a tag, like that's huge. Like it meant a lot. It was cool to have everybody a part of it. We didn't shoot an elk, but it was a great experience. You're out in the wilderness with your family for 9 days. What could possibly
you were
go
telling
wrong?
me before the mics were hot. It was like, once you go out there, it's like hunting back home is just a different
You appreciate the little things.
Yeah.
Like opening day of bow season, like last summer I had some stuff going on, nasty breakup, this, that, the other thing. And, hunting season for me was kind of like just like a new beginning. Opening day of bow season, the sun's coming up, the woods is coming alive, and I'm just like, here, like,
this is
it.
it.
Hell
You know
yeah,
what I
you
mean?
forget about
Heart's
everything.
going.
I've never experienced that any time in my life, and it's just, I'm not even that old, and I'm just starting to kind of get my head wrapped around that, and just little things like that mean so much more to you I didn't see a deer that day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Doesn't matter, though.
Nothing even
Like, that's your
nothing
happy
eventful
place.
happened that I could sit
Yeah.
here and tell you, whatever. But it just waking up, I'm in my saddle, my brand new saddle, life's good. Like, just sun's coming up. It doesn't get any better than this. That's what I live for right there, is to be a part of those moments.
What made you turn to the saddle? Were you rocking a climber before?
Yeah, I was rocking the climber, and I just
Bulky.
heavy, dude. Like,
Yeah, it's bulky.
I mean, I'm not a big dude. I'm only 5'6". Like, you get those little strap things banging on the back of your ankles.
Yeah.
You got a full pack, a rifle, or anything like that. It's like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
a lot. So my uncle was kind of doing some research, found this company, and they actually make arbors saddles for arborists. And they kind of started branching off to this. And I watched a bunch of videos, and I'm like, I'll tell you right now, it's kind of a mind thing at first, because you literally, instead of having a platform, like I kind of set it up with pegs. So it's like basically like anybody that rides a Harley, highway bars. It's like you're off your crash bars. You have 2 pegs that come off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically when you're just cruising down the highway, just freaking put your feet up and just go. And that's kind of what I have, is just kind of off to the side at, your 3 and 9 o'clock position, and to go up and then clip in and then just kind of sit back and just let
On your harness, yeah.
Yeah, you're trusting your equipment at that point. I mean, I'm hanging 25 feet up, and it's just a little sketchy.
Couple ropes.
It took me a while. I mean, like, I'm in there in the dark, and I'm like, holy, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's a lot to set up, but once you get it up there and you're comfortable with it, just the mobility of it, I can set a stand. I can have my ladders up with the harness set up 15, 20 minutes. I got a new setup. So mobility and just being able to move around to different areas, to me, is just, it's
What
a
do you
win-win.
use for sticks?
I use the Hawk, the heliums.
Okay.
They're a little bit on the pricey side, but the thing is like, when you're carrying all this shit, you know what I mean? Like, you got a full, my bows.
If you're going in for a day set, you're bringing your sticks, you're bringing your backpack, your
Exactly.
lunch,
And I
everything,
got
all
it-
your shit.
I've
Cold
got it-
weather,
exactly.
rain, whatever it's going to be.
And the thing is like, we bring these out west, and a lot of these outfitters, they like look at you and they're like, okay, well, we're going to pick you up at 10. Yeah, no. We're going to sit all day, and you go out there and you sit that setup, and something doesn't work. You have the ability to move.
Right.
When you go out hunt with an outfitter, you start moving their stands, they're going to tell you,
Get fucked.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you that, and they kind of look at you like, oh, these guys kind of know what they're doing. So they kind of, you know what I mean? It's that, you got that vibe going with them a little bit. So it's been great for me. My brother uses it. My dad, he's a little bit hesitant with it. It's not really too comfortable with it. It's different. It's
These guys have been hunting at a 2x4 stands and
Yeah.
fucking
Right.
wood,
Yeah.
wood
Plywood
stands their whole lives.
I mean, if you're good with heights, like, and you feel comfortable, it's definitely something I would recommend. But if you're not, don't even bother,
Right.
because it's literally just like a mind fuck. Just, you're literally just sitting down to nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
there to.
If you've never
grab.
been harnessed up before and hanging
Right.
from anything.
If you haven't,
yeah, it's definitely something
especially in
any
the dark,
telephone
especially
poles
in the
or-
dark. You know
Yeah,
what
in
I'm
the
saying?
dark,
Like,
right.
and
Especially trying to set up everything, hang
Yeah,
everything at one
that's true,
screw you
too.
peg in or whatever
Yeah.
strap you peg up.
it's definitely it's an adventure, but it's definitely worth it. The mobility
Yeah.
of it's unbelievable.
Wow.
Definitely a fan. Definitely recommend it. If anybody's thinking about it, there's a lot of, now it's really becoming a big thing, and there's actually a seminar going on in Boston in August this year, where, well, hopefully with,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
you know what I mean, everything now. I don't even want to get into that, but hopefully it will be going on where they're doing, all these saddle companies are coming. They're going to have platforms. They're going to let people try them.
That'd be cool to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
in
definitely
Boston,
try
but
out thing.
I think I'm just going to see
Worth
just
it.
to check
I
it
haven't
out.
messed with them at all, but
But somebody, you know what I
everybody,
mean?
a lot of people are going to them.
I'm
I
not.
don't know.
I mean, it's
Climbers are heavy.
Nothing difficult. It's nothing that anybody at this table couldn't do.
Yeah.
It's just getting your hands on it and just seeing it for the first time. Because you can't go and buy this at Cabela's. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It took me about 6 months to get the harness made because they're so backed up.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Because a lot of these guys, out Midwest, that's what all these guys rely on.
Yeah, they're running those.
Running and gunning and just going. So definitely something I would recommend to anybody that's thinking about it. It's a new edge,
Right.
lighter equipment, and gets you, and I've sat more sets than I normally do in places that I've wanted to and couldn't be able to.
Right.
You know, hauling a climber out some of these spots, you're like, no.
Bing, ding through the swamp.
Oh yeah,
No.
I get tight,
No.
tight areas. Yeah.
You know, and everybody has those spots that they walk out to and they're like, oh man, I'd love to have a tree
Right.
stand there.
Oh yeah.
This allows you to do it.
Right.
You pack it up the right way and it's all finangled right and organized right. You're good to go.
Right.
Money set up.
Sweet. All right. Well, I think we're tight on time.
But actually, if you had to give one tip to someone, a beginner hunter or advanced hunter or whatever, it doesn't matter. But what would be your tip? I don't want to put you on the spot. But you got a tip?
If I would say
that maybe you've learned over
for
the years.
anybody is like just keep staying at it. Like a lot of people get frustrated with stuff, turkey hunting or whatever. For me, like I never really had anybody to show me turkey hunting. So for a lot of people, they kind of get frustrated. Oh, birds aren't gobbling. Like stick to it. Persistence pays off.
Yep.
And honestly, another thing that I would say is giving back. I feel like allows you to get back in a funny sort of way that what goes around comes around, but it's all in good vibes. If you can help somebody out, do it. Take a kid out. You're gonna literally probably impact him for the rest of her, whatever, for the rest of their life. Like that's a huge thing that they'll always have you to remember for.
Absolutely.
Keep the community tight.
Absolutely. Like this is, we're all in this together. We all wear the same jersey. So, let's get our youth out there and have them break some beaks,
Perfect one right there.
Yeah. So, we just want to thank you, Evan.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Coming on. Yeah, we definitely like to hear everyone's story and what they have to say about hunting.
Yeah.
But, this will be wrapped up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. We'll
Shut
see you
it
guys
down.
later. Bye, Nick.
Later.
Yeah, baby, when we're together, it's like Vegas times 3. But in the morning, I'll know better. 'Cause you're so bad for me. Like a sip of wine leads me to drink. You're my gateway drug. I'm starting to think it's gonna take much more than just 12 steps. So call Betty Ford, call Dr. Drew, save me a bed, 'cause in a month or two I wanna quit you, girl, just not yet. Yeah, baby, when we're together, you're the only drug I need. But in the morning, I'll know better. 'Cause you're so bad for me. Barreling down the road past these city lights, you got your hands on the wheel, a look in your eye. I ask myself, is it time to slow down? But the night's still young, we're full of gas, credit cards in my pocket with some limit left, and we got friends in the next town. Yeah, baby, when we're together, it's like Vegas times 3. But in the morning, I'll know better. 'Cause you're so bad for me. Yeah, oh, baby, when we're together, it's like Vegas times 3. But in the morning, I'll know better. 'Cause you're so bad for me. Oh, 'cause you're so bad for me. 'Cause you're so bad bad for me. So bad for me.